Hello and welcome to our video presentation. Today we are excited to introduce you to the homepage of our web application titled Closing the Gap, a data-driven platform aimed at highlighting key government reports, researches, and demographic insights into Australia. At first, I'll tell you which pages are in level 1. We have homepage, about us page, dashboard, and also recent data. Here are some common features of pages in level 1. We are having a header navigation like this, a logo section, a section for contact, which are phone and email. In some cases, the user can also use the search bar to search sites and publication that they want to get information from. Next, for every pages, we also have a footer section. Of course, this section giving quick links and some social media icons for a user to get connected, to get in touch with us. We also have a scroll to top button. The user can scroll to the top when they are in the bottom of the page, like this. Next, we go to the content of the home page. We are having the recent publication news section. Next is the get involved section. In this section, the user can engage by providing direct links to pages on ongoing investigation, on how to make submission and fair competition review. Here are reports that we are currently working on. We're also having the Closing the Gap repository, as you can see. Next, we have our work streams. We are currently working on these 6 work streams. Next, we have the recent releases. We are having a lot of research papers and study report for user to dive in. Next is one of the most unique part of our homepage. This section fetches live population data from our SQLite database using JDBC. We saw side-by-side population table. As you can see, the table population in 2016 on the left, and the table population in 2021 on the right. So these values are formatted clearly and displayed using HTML list. Next, we go to the dashboard by clicking into the scroll to top button. Here, the user can click onto the dashboard navigation bar, and then we go directly to the dashboard. When the user first landed into this dashboard, they can see a lot of outcome section, which is the social economic outcome here. There are 17 outcomes, and we are currently focusing on outcome 1 and outcome 5, which are long and healthy lives and student learning potential. If the user want to want to research some information about this outcome, they just need to click into it and it will appear for a statistic table that user can look for. Next, we have the deep dive data section. This section is about some statistic about gap changes, changing the gap between indigenous and non-indigenous people from 2016 to 2022, and finding LGA with similar characteristic. Next, we have the March 2025 outcomes update, which are any information that is recent updates for any outcome that we are updated day by day. Next is the contact information. In this section, the user can contact on our email and phone for connections. And also, we're having a footer on this page. Next, we'll click into the scroll to top button again, and you can see the About Us navigation bar here. Click into it, and we'll go to the About Us page.
Okay, so let's move on to the About Us page. This page introduces the user to the core mission and vision of and stakeholder of our project. It is designed to provide context and transparency about who we are and our objectives, as well as the people involved in making this initiative a success. Our mission is to close the gap in life outcomes and empowering Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Our vision is where Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have the same opportunities and outcomes as all Australians. So here you can see the personas we develop based on government worker, Indigenous leader, and the public. David Thompson is an Indigenous community leader. He wants reliable and easy to understand data with offline reports and tools to compare different statistics between LGA. Emily Carter is a government policy analyst. She wants easily analyze trends, compare LGAs and state, and export details reports. Olivia Johnson represents the public. She's a university student. She wants access easy, navigate educational outcome data, find scholarships, as well as avoid confusing filter errors. For our key stakeholders, we have community leaders, policymakers, research, and educators. Our approach is based on 5 things. cultural respect and safety, data sovereignty and indigenous data governance, as well as transparency, accountability with the collaboration, partnership with different people, as well as community-led solutions. For the latest update section, we have National Agreement Progress Report, community partnerships, and digital enhancement for our website. The same, this part is our team name and SID section. It is also dynamically fetched from an SQLite database. In the sidebar, you'll see that we have clear contact option to provide feedback or ask question, along with quick links to social media channels. Okay, so now we are at the bottom of the page, and if you want to quickly move up to the page, and you can press this arrow right here and move to recent data. So in recent data, this page acts as a central point for all accessing the latest reports and multimedia content related to Closing the Gap initiative. It is designed for users looking for the most current findings and downloadable resources and webinar-based insights all in one place. If you remember, David Thompson needed offline reports. You could press here for the PDF file or the Word file of the earliest report. And of course, you can watch the video and download the transcript. At the same time, this page is plainly designed. It's not meant to be difficult to navigate. From the home page, we navigate to the dashboard. If you scroll down below, you will now see the national priority outcomes. Press Outcome 1, Long and Healthy Lives repository. So in this page, you can see the header and the footer remain consistent throughout the user experience.
Okay, and the Outcome 1 page is dedicated to the national priority. People enjoy long and healthy life. This interface bridges database-driven insight with a clean and user-friendly layout to support evidence-based understanding of age and health condition trends across indigenous and non-indigenous population. So just below the header, user will find a set of dynamic filter tool designed to help data customization. This filter also allows user to refine result by first is the view type that we can choose health condition or age category database, and then the indigenous status. And the next one is the display as. Here we can choose the percentage or the raw value that we want to see, and the view by region or state. And the next thing is the health condition filter. And the last one is the sort order. And when we select all the things that we want to filter, click the button. And here you'll see this is a annotation for the top 3 ranking of all results. So now here, this is the table. We will have the first column is the rank column, and the next one is the view by column, which is this one. And the next one is the indigenous status that we choose and the condition. And lastly, the percentage column, which is the display as that we choose. And we also have a pagination control since the dataset can be large. Level 2 pages use pagination to divide data into manageable chunks, like as you can see here. Okay, and beside that, we also have the export to CSV option. So we can click this option when click this button to download the CSV file, which contain our filter results. And we also have the reset filter after we finish the filtering process. And now I will get to the outcome 5 pages. Here we can click the scroll button here, and then click the dashboard, and then choose outcome 5. And the outcome 5 page support the national priority. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students achieve their full learning potential. So this page delivers education completion data for both school and non-school qualification using a responsive interface that allows users to explore differences across indigenous status, region, and education level. So here at the left, you can see that we have the option to choose the type of school completion that we want to choose and the non-school education. On the top right, we can see here we can choose the indigenous status. The display by like the region or state from the outcome one, and the percentage and the order. Okay, now we will click the apply filter. And as you can see, this is the table. The first column is the rank like the last one, and region, and the filter that we choose, which is the education. And the next is the indigenous status, and the display as, which is the raw value that we choose. And we also implement the pagination system and the export to CSV like the outcome 1 too. And after we finish everything, we will click the reset filter to do it again, or you can go back to the dashboard by clicking this.
So now we are back at the dashboard page. Now, if you move a bit below the national priority outcome, you see the deep dive data. If we press on gap changes, you are now presented with the changing gap between indigenous and non-indigenous people. The filter here, we have 4 data set in this page, which are population with its own filter, age range, health condition, illnesses, school completion, years of completion, and non-school education with different degrees. Now, I want you to be careful with health condition, because in health condition, if you choose only the indigenous status, sex, and a health condition, you will see that we have a warning called please select both indigenous status, because the health condition is only in 2021. Now you can see the table. We have the changes between years, between the indigenous and the non-indigenous indigenous people. We also have vertical and horizontal bar chart to further visualize the changes between them. Let's move on to population. You don't need much in population. You can see the year are stacked vertically in a column. Year 2016, 2021, non-indigenous and indigenous people. Let's move on to the vertical chart. Now, if you move at the end of the page, you'll see that this is a negative number. That means there's a gap between the indigenous and non-indigenous people. How about school completion? Year 9, the same thing as every other pages. We've designed it to be consistent with the layout as for the user to be familiar with it. And below, you can see we have the pagination as every other statistical pages. And on top, we have the export to CSV. Okay, that is all for the gap changes between the non-indigenous and indigenous people. Now we are back at the dashboard page. If you scroll below a bit again, down to the deep dive data section, you can now click on the local government area similarities. You are now presented with the finding LGAs with similar characteristics.
Okay, so welcome to the finding LGAs with similar characteristic page. It's a powerful tool that helps you identify a local government area across Australia that share similar characteristics based on real-world data. Whether you are the policy maker, the researcher, or community leader, this tool supports meaningful comparison across population, demographic, health condition, and education outcomes. The goal is to help you uncover patterns, share strategies, and develop more targeted approaches to closing the gap. So on the left-hand side of the page, you'll find an interactive filter panel that guides your exploration. Let's walk through each component. First, at the top is the dataset dropdown where you can select the type of data you want to analyze. The available categories includes population to compare demographic features like age groups, health, allowing to focus on health conditions such as diabetes or heart disease. The third one is the school completion to examine schooling outcomes and completion levels, and non-school education, which looks at vocational training, certificates, and degrees. Next, we have the LGA selector. Lets you choose the local government area that you want to compare order against. This is your anchor point for similarity analysis. So here you can see the drop-down menu shows all of the LGA available. Next, we will have the indigenous status filter. You can focus your comparison on indigenous population or non-indigenous or both, whichever suits your analysis needs. Then comes the census year filter, allowing you to choose between 2016 and 2021 data sets, depending on availability for your selected data set. So let's say this health condition is only have the data of 2021, so we couldn't choose the census year for health condition, but others are okay. We will have the number of similar LGA to show. It will let you control the range for your comparison, displaying your top 5, 10, 15, or more than that of the similar communities. The last thing is sort or the toggle to rank the result either by most similar first or least similar first. Okay, so I will test it out. So let's say we choose something like this, and I want to sort an A range from 0 to, let's say, 70, and the number I want to show is 100. So we will click add the filter result. Once the filter are set, and after we click the filter result, it will generate the table. The result will appear beside of the on the right hand side of the filter. Here you will see the selected LGA, and the table you will see the LGA name and state to easily identify each region. The similarity level to give the quick description such as level of equivalence, exactly identify. Here we will see the distance score, a number that indicating how closely the LGA matches the criteria. Here we will have the pagination to see all of the result, because default the default result the table could display is 10 records. So here we will have the export to CSV button. Overall, this page provides a streamlined yet robust way to identify and explore communities with shared characteristics, having turned raw data into actionable insight. And you could select reset filter to remove all the filter like you want.
So now we move on to the yearly diagrams. So at the top of our schema, we start with the state table, which contains unique abbreviations and the full name of each Australian state and territory. This helps organize data regionally. Each state is linked to multiple LGAs or local government areas represented by the LGA table. Every LGA is uniquely identified by a combinations of code and years, allowing us to track changes over time. It also includes metadata like area, latitude, and longitude. From each LGA, we branch into 4 key datasets. Firstly, populations track demographic details like age group, sex, and indigenous status, along with population counts. Secondly, school completions shows the number of people completing each school year, again broken down by key demographics. Thirdly, non-school education captures higher education levels like certificates and diplomas. And the last one is health conditions with records prevalence of various health conditions by demographic group based on the 2021 census. So each of these 4 datasets link back to the LGA using foreign key to ensure consistency and support comprehensive regional analysis. Overall, this structure allowing us to efficiently query and compare socioeconomic outcomes both across time and between indigenous and non-indigenous populations. That concludes the overview of the ERD diagrams.
Moreover, we also have the table of member and personages which are independent from the others. And also our relational schema of them, as you can see,